Imagine having so many client and candidate calls that you end up turning off the method that you're using for getting your clients and candidates. Nice problem to have. This is actually a true story, something that happened recently with somebody that I'm working with. If you don't recognize this diagram, by the way, I'll leave a link to a video below where I explain everything in this document. But what this is the recruitment process just mapped out. If you've got clients and candidates that you recognize, they're cold, you've recognized them on a lead list, you've found them on LinkedIn, however you find them, ultimately you need a way that you can speak to them and engage with them as often as you possibly can. And they will go through a process where eventually they might turn around and say to you, hey, by the way, I'm looking for a new opportunity or I'm looking to hire. So when they get to this stage, then yeah, you're ready to work with them basically, and you nurture them through this process by building proper relationships. So this bit up here, the challenges that you're going to have is how quickly can you get in contact with your clients? You're limited by LinkedIn connections. You can push that up to 200 a week. Most people don't know that, but anyway, you can send 200 connections a week. And how many of them accept? How many of them convert into conversations? And imagine having so many conversations. It's just LinkedIn automation we talk about here, not anything else. But let's just say you get this up to a point where you're having so many conversations that you become really busy up here, and then you become really busy here, and you become so busy here that you just can't, you don't have enough time in the day to actually book all the interviews and make all the placements. And so a really, really nice problem to have, really nice, luxurious problem to have. Now, the worst thing that you could do is actually turn this stuff off, basically. Like imagine you got so busy with the recruitment element that you actually turned this off because you had so many clients and candidates, you literally just couldn't handle the amount of workload that was coming through. So I want you to just picture this for the moment. Imagine being a 360 recruiter where you're taking care of all of this, all the way up to placement level. And one day, your manager or the accounts department complains to you and says, hey, you're putting through so many placements recently that we can't handle the amount of invoices that are going out and all the stuff that's going on. And the invoicing department is getting so busy. We need you to slow down a little bit. Like, start making fewer placements. You'd be like, the heck is wrong with these people? Like, do you not like money? Like, is there a problem here? So you would have, you would just be like, look, this is not my issue. This is your problem to do with invoicing, and you need to resolve that for yourself. So now if you treat each department on their own, like, this is the lead generation department, this is the candidate or client nurturing department, and here's the recruitment department, here's the accounting and finance and everything else department. So if anyone lower down in the chain has a problem because they're too busy because of the amount of workload that's being pushed on them as a result of the workload above, and all of these people up here, like, treat each block like an individual person. All these people are so high performing that they're passing everything over to the next person, and it's these lot down here that are complaining, saying, hey, these are too busy. No, then this department needs to grow. What happened with somebody that I was speaking to recently is they turned this element up here off. I'm like, don't do that, because now you've built up what is a floodgate that is being opened up, and then you turned it off because it was getting too busy down here. No, that doesn't mean that you turn this off. That means somewhere down here it needs to expand in capacity, and we need to do more of it. And that might be a hire, that might be a smoother operation, that might be some sort of AI automation that can help speed up and make the process a little bit more efficient. But ultimately, this is a case of we need to expand the capacity of wherever the bottleneck is. So if the bottleneck is here, like, how many active clients and candidates can we introduce to make to send CVs and book interviews and so on? Then cool, we need to hire more people to get that done, or streamline the process in some form or another. We don't want to turn this bit off, because all that's doing is that's limiting the lead flow into the future. So this is actually a nice problem to have. It's something that happened recently. So I explained it to somebody in the group, and I thought I'd make this video just to explain it in a bit more detail, because if you consider each one of your conversion metrics from cold client and candidate all the way down to placement, and if you've got an overflow of volume, then it means that you need to grow. Equal and opposite is also true, because if you consider the metrics, so let's say you're having conversations with anywhere between 20 and 50 people a week, which should be the case, because on LinkedIn you can send 200 connections a week. Yes, you heard that right, 200. Most people don't know that because don't know how to use it properly. But either way, you're having, let's say, 50 to 60 conversations a week. Good problem to have. how many of those are actually keeping engaged with you or turning into passive, either clients or candidates? Let's say half of them. If 50% of them turning into active clients and candidates, cool. And then you come down here and you realize what are the drop-off points all the way along the process. Like, why did the active candidate decide to drop off? Why did the client decide to reject the candidate? And when you consider all of these common problems, we need to go back and then refine how we actually pitch the service, onboard the client, and present the opportunity. So I've already put SOPs in place for that on YouTube. I'll leave links to them below as well. So for every time you get a drop off, you got to smooth out the process a little bit more. There's a reason why the candidate or the client dropped off, and it's all in the qualification. So I'll leave a link to that video, those 2 videos below. I'll leave a link to the video where I'm explaining this entire diagram as well. So that's it for now. See you in the next one.